If you've been following my channel, you know there's a particular saying that I have had in terms of my mindset with trading crypto right now, and that is that I'm looking for percentages and not X's in terms of my returns. And I want you to know, given where we are right now, and I'm not just talking about crypto, I'm talking about the stock market, I'm talking about this insane, big, beautiful bill, which I think is devastating long term, but short term is going to cause us to make some gains. All those things in mind. My mindset right now is shifting. Instead of making percentages, it's shifting to X's. And so what does that mean? I mean, that means that everything's in play. Even with Bitcoin, that we would see X's, or at least an X, with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with XRP, Solana, down the road, that there is potential for X's and not merely percentages. So of course, you know, that would mean for other cryptos, there may be 10 X's or 50 X's, or dare I say even 100 X's. And so why this shift all of a sudden? At the beginning of this year, when everyone was a moon boy, I was expecting that dump, and we saw it in crypto, in the stock market. And then at one point, I was expecting a sort of a dead cat bounce with the potential of a new all-time high for Bitcoin, but a dead cat bounce in the stock market, and then that it would form a lower high and get rejected, and we would enter a recession. But instead, we've put in a V-shaped recovery, and we are in the early stages of a V-shaped recovery. And so that entirely changes my perspective when it comes to being a bear for the end of 2025 to now being a bull, but still having that bear in me that I think at some point we're going to be paying pretty heavily for the mistakes that we're making right now. But what makes sense right now is an irrational pump, a potential blow off top, a collapse of the dollar, and an environment where risk-on activity increases dramatically. And then just looking at where we are with certain cryptos, you know, we're still very close to the bottom with a lot of these altcoins. And so there's lots of room to the upside. And as of right now, I would think very limited downside. And sentiment is still very low. The normies are still very much on the sidelines, and they're not going to be coming back for several weeks and maybe even months now. And so as far as I'm concerned, I see a lot of opportunity for the rest of this year and maybe even extending into 2026. And who knows about after that.